character I would like to see the most in The Mandalorian Season 4 is the Mandalorian. Alright, now that that joke's out of the way, I want to go over what the plot for The Mandalorian Season 4 will probably be about, and then we'll get into the ranking. The last season ended with Din being recruited by the New Republic to protect the Outer Rim from the Imperial warlords, meaning we're probably sticking with the Empire as the antagonists, and it may just be an excuse to have Din Djarin be relevant to the Imperial war with Thrawn, which I don't really see as necessary. If they really wanted him to help in the movie, Ahsoka could just call him on the phone or something. I don't think we need a whole season of him as a ranger. But we're doing this anyway, so we might as well make the most of it. Who would be best suited to help Din in the war against the Imperial Shadow Council?
A cowboy. Yeehaw!
I don't think Cobb Vanth is a likely candidate to appear in Season 4, since he may not want to leave his hometown unguarded while he's off-world fighting stormtroopers, but I'd love to see him again. Vanth is such a charismatic character, and he's always a blast when he's paired with Din Djarin. It would also be a great excuse to finally give Vanth his own set of Mandalorian armor. I've said it for years, but this guy deserves his own set. He clearly has the heart of a Mandalorian warrior, and I can see Din vouching for him with the armorer. Have the martial stripes carry onto the armor. The show at its core is about Din learning that there are different ways to be a Mando, so him introducing his friend to the Creed and explaining how he deserves it would be a nice payoff. Make it happen.
Captain Solo, do you copy? This is overweight pilot number 1.
I want to see all of Carson Teva's Ranger buddies. You heard me. I want to see all the Glepshitos come together and have the spotlight. I want to see Zeb, Dave Filoni, Deborah Chow, Rick Famuyiwa, the Luke Skywalker body double, the Mandalorian stunt double, the Sabine Wren stunt double. Oh. Wait, I'm just being told now that all these characters actually have names in canon. Let's see. Trapper Wolf, Sosh Ketter, Jib Dodger, Lieutenant Reed, Lieutenant Lander, Lieutenant Jet. Who the f*** is naming all these people? Anyway, yeah, give us some more insight on the New Republic Danger Rangers. Show us what life is like for these guys. We've gotten so much insight on the New Republic's government, but why not show us the everyday workers?
Boba Fett!
Present.
Boba Fett!
Tastes like your mama's kisses.
So this is where we're getting into the meat and potatoes of what I really want from this season, and it all has to do with Din Djarin himself. I wholeheartedly believe this season has to focus on Din Djarin abandoning the Creed and choosing to fully accept his role as a father to Grogu. What better way to do that than bring in the other Mandalorian who had a close relationship with their dad, Boba Fett? The best way for Din to finally get some sense smacked into his helmet would be for Boba to call him out on prioritizing the Creed over his own son. If Boba had a chance to spend more time with his father, he would take it in a heartbeat, but that was taken away from him by Mace Windu. Grogu deserves to live his life as a kid, not a warrior. His whole life he's just been training to be one, whether it's a Jedi or a Mandalorian, and he's never gotten a chance to just be a child and live a life. Just like Boba was forced down the wrong path when his dad died. Have Grogu be integral to Din's character again, and have Boba Fett show him that.
Hey now, what do you think this is? Who do you think we is?
Back when Rangers of the New Republic got cancelled in 2021, I originally pitched that Mayfeld should replace Cara Dune and team up with Carson Teva as a fun little Top Gun homage. Now that that show is being reskinned as Mando Season 4, and Din is essentially the Ranger of the New Republic now, why not just bring Mayfeld back here? I don't think he served much to the story aside from continuing his redemption arc, but you could still do a lot with this guy, especially if you're going to have Din abandon the Creed. Imagine a mirror of that scene in Season 2 where Din removes his helmet so that Machine can scan his face and get the data he needs, except here, Din is too afraid to take his helmet off again because he's worked so hard to be forgiven. Maybe because of that brief moment of hesitation, stormtroopers are trying to break down the door, and then Grogu and Mayfeld get hurt because of it, all because it was Din's fault for hesitating. You can make a lot from an episode where Mayfeld is put on trial, where he's recaptured, and he has to show that he wants to really help and he has genuinely changed. Have him join Carson's squadron, make him a pilot, give him a droid to be his friend. I don't care what you do, just bring this guy back.
Get dinosaur!
Now this one. This has to happen. I'm gonna be mad if this thing is never shown ever again. This is a very simple ask. Have Din Djarin ride the mythosaur and abandon the Creed to show he is still a true Mandalorian. One thing I would love to see is Din maybe lose his helmet on a mission, and the finale centers around him going back to Mandalore, and a rat race ensues of the Watch trying to stop Din from getting to the living waters to redeem himself again. The Armorer can easily get upset with Din once again breaking the creed and turning the Watch against him. How fun would it be to see Din fend himself off against all the Mandalorians he viewed as family? Once he finally gets to the living waters, the mythosaur can appear and Grogu can tame it with the Force, causing it to accept Din, and the Armorer's faith is finally shaken. This could be what causes her to finally realize that there is more than one way. One thing I did want to add at the end of this video is that since this script was written a few weeks before Carl Weathers passed away, I think the best way to handle Grief Karga's character is maybe have him pass away in the beginning of Season 4. One of the main conflicts at the beginning of Season 4 is that there has to be a new magistrate to take care of Navarro, and in Grief's will, he proposes that Din becomes the new magistrate. And Din can become a little hesitant at first because he's a marshal, and he obviously wants to abide by the creed, and he doesn't have time to be a magistrate. But by the end of the season, if he rides the mythosaur and gets some advice from Boba, realizing he needs to lay back and actually live a life with Grogu, him becoming the new High Magistrate of Navarro could be a really great direction for him. He can finally retire with Grogu by his side and be a humble leader, something he missed out on when he gave Bo the Darksaber. I think that would be a perfect end for the character, and while he's obviously going to come back in the Thrawn movie, it would be a nice way to give his arc some closure, and maybe he goes out like a hero in the fight with the Grand Admiral. Once again, I said this last video and I want to make it as clear as I can be. I am not a writer. I don't know if these ideas would work out well in the end, but I just want what's best for these characters because I do like them. I wasn't disappointed in Mando Season 3 because I wanted to hate it. I loved him. I like Grogu. These characters have a lot of potential, and no matter where the story is gonna go, I'm gonna be optimistic and watch it regardless, because in the end, I do want to have an open mind.